I grasped the hem of my dress, lifting it gracefully over my head in a fluid, seamless motion. No words, only silence, the sound of breath, and 3 pairs of eyes fixed upon me as if I were a stranger they had never encountered before. I took my time, wore no smile, allowing the quiet to speak for itself. With each deliberate step, I approached Noah, allowing the moment to linger and unfold in its own time. As I approached him, I leaned in and pressed my lips against his, deliberate and unwavering, as if I had always understood that none of them could hinder my path. Before we embark on this journey, take a moment to show your appreciation for this video and consider subscribing. This fosters the channel's growth, expands its audience, and ensures the continuous flow of these narratives each day. I appreciate your presence. Let us commence. Noah's hands gripped my hips firmly, his movements imbued with a singular intensity that seemed to dissolve the world around us. My cheeks sank into the pillow, breath hitching as he maintained his relentless rhythm. It was not gentle. It was swift, resolute, as if he were unable to halt his momentum. Though he made an effort, I flowed alongside him instinctively, my fingers gripping the sheets with a fierce intensity. Heat surged rapidly, each movement escalating with intensity. A cry escaped, more piercing than I intended. He maintained his pace, unwavering. His hand adjusted, lifting me to my knees, while one arm encircled my waist to maintain my balance. I extended my hand, yearning for connection. His reply came as a low, gravelly sound that resonated deep within my chest. For a fleeting moment, his stride wavered. He leaned back into me once more, this time with a deliberate slowness, a sense of control guiding his movements. His breath caught in his throat as the tension enveloped him. With his chest pressed against my back, the moment enveloped us both. I leaned in, trembling, my skin aglow and my nerves alight. We lingered in that moment for some time. Stillness envelopes the surroundings. Neither of us stirred significantly. He released his grip, collapsing beside me on the bed. As I struggled to regain my composure, his voice finally broke the silence. "Perhaps this is an error," he remarked. I shifted my gaze, my lips grazing the soft surface of the pillow. "Do you find yourself filled with regret?" He let out a soft chuckle. "I don't have the answer, but perhaps my dad or Julian could shed some light on it." I cast my gaze aside. "What is the reason behind this?" "They have been behaving oddly." Julian inquired whether I have been vanishing. "My dad keeps casting me this glance, as if he has already unraveled the mystery." I turned onto my back, allowing the sheet to cascade down to my waist. "Thus they harbor doubts." He paused, uncertainty flickering in his mind. "Are you not concerned?" I extended my limbs, the vibrations of life still resonating within me. "No," I replied with a smile. "Doesn't this add an element of thrill?" The knock resounded with force, 3 sudden knocks that startled me. The dawn had just begun to break. I had yet to complete the brewing of my coffee, merely a gentle t-shirt drapes over me, while the remnants of slumber linger in my gaze. I cracked the door open just enough. Nathan remained in place, the father of Noah, serene demeanor, gaze unwavering, as if he had always been aware. "Good morning," he remarked. I opened the door wider, maintaining a composed expression. "I didn't anticipate your arrival." He entered without hesitation, his eyes sweeping across the room. He stood, merely pivoting to meet my gaze. I believed it was the moment for us to have a conversation. I crossed my arms. "What can you tell me about you and Noah?" I chose to remain silent. He advanced a step nearer. "Do you really believe I haven't seen the way he gazes at you? The manner in which he strides out of here, as if he hasn't rested in days?" I remained unyielding. "Perhaps he has not." Nathan held his gaze for a moment. "I hold no judgment, yet I find it insulting when you feign that it's insignificant. I never claimed it to be so." He cast his gaze upon me once more, this time with a deliberate slowness. "It seems you have little concern for the appearance of this, don't you?" I entered, drawing near enough for him to sense my presence. "Here," I declared. "Merely not in the manner you anticipate." His eyes fell, holding on for a moment longer. The shirt offered little concealment, and I made no effort to alter its fit. I allowed the stillness to take effect. Then I extended my hand gently, allowing it to linger just above my leg, near yet not quite making contact. "I am aware of your gaze," I remarked. "There's no reason to put on a facade." His fingers danced with a restless energy. I could have wished for your arrival sooner, I murmured softly. What is it about today? Silence prevails. I leaned in just within reach for a warmth to flow between us. Nathan, are you here to put an end to this? I inclined my head, gliding softly past his cheek. Or are you simply weary of being excluded? Then I pressed my lips against his. Gradual yet certain, and he remained close. Nathan remained silent following the kiss. His gaze darted downward briefly before returning upward. A transformation stirred within him. A heartbeat later, a hand found its way to my waist. The other slipped behind my neck, drawing me in once more. The kiss this time grew deeper. Steadfast, resolute, devoid of any wavering. He advanced with a sense of gravity driven by intent. As he guided me backward toward the couch, I offered no resistance. As he pulled my shirt upward, I lifted my arms in response, maintaining unwavering eye contact. As his hands made contact with my bare skin, I surrendered to the moment, as if I had been anticipating this all along. I nudged him softly onto the cushions. She climbed into his lap, settling with a deliberate ease. His breath hitched as the air grew heavy with unspoken tension. Unwavering daring. A gravity neither of us resisted, just enough to elicit a reaction from him below. Do you still believe this is a misguided notion? I murmured. He remained silent. I have relocated once more. Take your time. More intentional. He replied in a similar manner. With my hands firmly at my sides, I felt anchored as we flowed together in perfect harmony. He took his time. He allowed it to accumulate. With each passing shift, he felt himself teetering on the brink of losing control. I leaned closer, my lips grazing his ear. Then ceased the charade. His hands glided over my back. Then it descends once more. Venturing into the unknown, with great attention. The atmosphere grew dense. The tension between us intensifying. I pushed in once more with greater intensity this time. He let out a breath. Acute against his nostrils, the head tilts backward. Breath coming in rapid bursts. And just as I sensed his hesitation, I withdrew. I descended from him with deliberate slowness. I picked up my shirt from the floor and gently slid it back into place, as if nothing had transpired. He lingered in that moment, drawing in the air, savoring the stillness as he regained his breath. Uncertain about what would follow. You ought to join us for dinner this evening, I remarked with a nonchalant air. Nathan's eyelids fluttered momentarily. Shall we dine? I cast a fleeting look behind me. Noah, Julian, and you. His expression transformed entirely. I filled a glass with water and savored a sip. I will take care of the cooking, I declared. You arrive with an appetite. Silence enveloped him, simply lingered for a moment. Astounded. Her lips parted. With a silent resolve, they turned and exited, leaving no trace of their thoughts behind. The knock arrived precisely at 6. A single decisive knock. Next, 2 at a more leisurely pace. As if one were caught in a delicate balance between courtesy and self-assurance. Nathan departed in silence, not uttering a single word as he walked away. Yet I was certain they would arrive. Each one of them. The door creaked open, revealing what lay beyond. Nathan stood at the forefront, serene as always. Noah lingered in the shadows, deliberately avoiding my gaze. Julian hesitated, shifting his weight from one foot to the other, as if he still possessed the luxury of time to flee. A smile graced my lips, punctuality at its finest. They entered with a hushed grace. Every individual increasingly filled with doubt. I donned a garment of delicate fabric. Brief. Off-shoulder, it glimmered softly, reflecting the light with every subtle shift of my body. There is nothing beneath. There will be no expressions of regret, only dinner simmering on the stove, with wine elegantly poured and waiting. The table was elegantly arranged, the music playing softly in the background, and the light cast a gentler glow than usual. I embraced the role of the ideal host, embracing each of them individually, as if there were nothing unusual about it. As if I hadn't rested my legs across Nathan's this morning. I found myself seated between Nathan and Noah. Julian sat across from me, shoulders taut. Glimmers of movement flickered in the gaze. He struggled to avert his gaze. His performance left much to be desired. Under the table, I allowed my leg to brush softly against Nathan's. As he remained unresponsive, I pushed further. Take your time this round. His hand quivered briefly, that was everything. I inquired of Noah regarding his weak, lightly grazing his arm as he responded. Then she turned to Julian. Are you still involved with that girl from last summer? He blinked slowly. Stuttered. He shook his head. I nodded, as if it were of no consequence. Yet my fingers had begun to wander along Nathan's leg. Each passing minute at that table grew increasingly tense. My voice descended into a deeper register. The warmth of my smile extended its stay. I filled their glasses to the brim without a word of inquiry. Noah's eyes frequently drifted toward my legs. Julian continued to fidget in his chair. Nathan remained utterly motionless. Yet I sensed the subtle transformation within him with each inhalation. As the last bite was savored, I rose to gather the plates. Stay still, I whispered gently. I shall return shortly. I made my way back with a deliberate slowness that felt different from before. The abandoned plates linger in the kitchen, a testament to meals once shared and now left behind. All three remained in their seats. Stillness envelopes the surroundings. Attention. Observing me as if uncertain whether this could still be considered a meal, or something else entirely. I came to a halt next to the table, met Nathan's eyes, then came Noah's, then Julian's. Then I extended my hand toward the hem of my dress. With a swift and fluid movement I drew it up and over my head. Silence prevails. Simply embrace the stillness, inhale deeply, and let the silence envelop you. All three of them stood motionless. Noah's eyes grew wide with surprise. Julian appeared as though he had momentarily lost the art of breathing. And what of Nathan? He tightened his jaw. His fist curled tightly on his thighs. I made my way toward Noah, gradual and deliberate, allowing the moment to unfold with each stride. Then I drew closer and pressed my lips against his, deliberate, unwavering, assertive. As I nestled into his lap, Noah's hands instinctively found their place at my hips. His breath caressed the side of my neck as I descended gently. I unfastened his garments, sufficient to distinctly sense his presence beneath me. The soft whisper of cloth breaks the stillness. As soon as I found my position, his hold grew firmer, digits pressing against my waist. His head tilted back, releasing a sharp breath. I advanced toward him, calm and determined, allowing every movement to accumulate. He approached each shift with a fervent intensity. His lips grazed my shoulder. My back feels the rapid rise of a chest pressing against it. Do not restrain yourself, I murmured gently. Allow yourself to be free. And he surrendered. His hand glided softly along my sides, drawing me in tighter with each sway of my body. The sofa groaned under our weight. Our bodies sway in harmony. The atmosphere thickens with anticipation. I sensed the proximity of his presence. His legs tightened with anticipation. His breath quickened. Yet I pressed on undeterred. I chose to pivot my gaze. Nathan, I spoke, my voice steady and unmistakable. He had observed everything from the very beginning, remaining completely attired, jaw clenched. Fix your gaze unwaveringly. As I extended my hand towards him, he moved closer. With deliberate care, I loosened his belt, lowering the fabric with a gentle motion, gaze firmly fixed upon his. He emerged with a serene composure. Yet, the tension etched across his features betrayed him. Continuing to traverse Noah, I inclined my body ever so slightly forward and drew Nathan nearer. His hand lingered gently at the nape of my neck as I drew closer, bestowing gentle kisses upon him. Playfully nudging, one hand pressed firmly against Noah's chest. The other lay gently against Nathan's hip. The atmosphere thrummed with life and motion. The atmosphere was heavy, saturated with an escalating tension. I drew back just a bit. Remain near, I whispered softly. Then I turned my gaze to the one who remained still. Juliantifer, remaining completely attired, remaining perched on the edge of the couch. As if he were uncertain about his next move, I slipped away from Noah. The warmth continues to pulse within me. She traversed the room with deliberate slowness. It wasn't until my lips met his that Julian finally stirred. Soft and soothing. Enticing. At that moment he let out a long breath. I gently eased his shirt away from his body, observed the rise and fall of his chest in a rhythm that was anything but steady. Then I sank to my knees. With deliberate precision he unfastened his pants. Prior to clasping his hand within my own, He trailed silently in my wake as I directed him to take a seat. I knelt, searching for clarity in the silence between us. Inhale deeply, exhale slowly, and drew nearer, closing the distance between us. Gently placing a lingering kiss upon his hip, before playfully nudging onward, his entire form convulsed. Fingers clenched at his sides. Legs pulled close together. I rested a hand on his thigh, the one behind me for equilibrium. Nathan followed behind me, calm and unwavering. His hands lingered gently at my waist. Then he drew nearer. His body nestled gently against mine. I inhaled quietly, my breath hitching against Julian, finding my footing as I embraced the fresh cadence. Nathan secured my position from behind, every movement deliberate and unhurried. I aligned it as I pressed on with Julian, allowing the gravity of the moment to envelop the three of us. After a brief pause, I withdrew and pivoted. Julian sat, his eyes wide with wonder. His breath was unsteady. I settled into his lap, gently descended with care, finding my footing until I was completely at ease. He inhaled sharply, uncertain. His hands lingered in the air before finally settling on my waist. I extended my hand behind me. Once more, Nathan became a part of the gathering. Following closely in my wake, I bent gracefully to greet them both, discovering a fresh cadence as they flowed together harmoniously. In that moment, I extended my hand. Noah knelt in close proximity, observing. I reached out my hand and he moved in closer. I encircled him with my fingers, shifting my hand, softly, gradually, intentionally. His breath faltered as he leaned in closer, pressing soft lips against the curve of my neck, his hands gliding over my thighs. Yet I found myself unfinished. I stood and grasped Noah's hand, encouraging him to recline upon the floor. Then I positioned myself over him, turning away, and nestled myself softly into position. I took a moment to recalibrate, embracing the rhythm of movement. Nathan continued to observe. With a mere glance, I summoned him forth. He advanced with purpose. He positioned himself with great care, and drew nearer, positioning themselves right in front, embracing our cadence. With one hand resting confidently on my hip, another caress brushed against my cheek. I leaned into Nathan's chest, swaying gently between them, one lifting me beyond reason. Nathan is positioned above, every motion igniting warmth that ascends in a swirling dance. Then I shifted my gaze to Julian, enduring steadfastly, continuing to observe. "Approach me," I spoke in a gentle whisper. He advanced with purpose. I extended my hand toward him. I greeted him softly, my body continuing its graceful movement. Noah is making his way beneath. I felt torn between two forces, one grounding, and Julian quivering in my grasp. Julian was the first to tremble profoundly. Breath quickens as tension dissipates. I embraced him until he reached his conclusion, gently release him, allowing the moment to linger before parting ways. I redirected my attention back to Nathan. My palms rested on his chest as the last wave started to swell. Noah's grip grew more resolute. His body drew near, a palpable tension crackling in the air, until he ultimately tensed with a sudden intensity. The breath quickens. Moments later, Nathan made his entrance. His arms encircled me, his body trembled against mine, and I pursued. My back curved elegantly, breath dispersed. The heat rises, a relentless force. The tension surged within me, cresting like waves as the moment engulfed my senses. I remained still. I merely lingered in that place, enveloped in Nathan's embrace. Noah's chest lay beneath me, with Julian's hand lingering gently beside mine. Gasping for air, I remained motionless, remaining silent, merely absorbing the sounds around me, to the rhythm of the breath that surrounds me, the entwined rhythms of the heart, the feeling of skin warm, moist and undeniably tangible. I could sense each one of them. Noah, gentle and yielding under my weight. Nathan. He continued to embrace me, as if he were not prepared to release his grip. And Julian, resting in close proximity. His hand lay softly upon mine, as if releasing him would cause him to shatter. I once believed in my own strength. Complementary. I realized that I was whole on my own, yet this evening, I came to a profound understanding. The void within me was never intended to be satisfied by the mere caress of a single man's hand. All three were essential to me, three individuals, three gazes observing, three breaths intertwining with mine in perfect harmony. Noah fulfilled the craving I had concealed within. Nathan tempered that hunger with the solid anchor of conviction. And what of Julian? He emerged as the unexpected revelation. Stillness envelopes the surroundings. Uncertain. Yet, upon contact, he ignited with the intensity of flames. In the presence of all three, I found myself complete. A sense of completeness enveloped me. Complete, finished. Not solely within my physical form. Yet, there lies something more profound beneath the surface. In a realm untouched by any soul. The void within me was at last entirely filled.